Now here's what makes this discovery so extraordinary. In the world of archaeology and Egyptology, almost every ancient tomb has been opened at least once. Grave robbers, treasure hunters, and even early archaeologists unwrapped countless mummies throughout history. Some did it for treasure, others for research, and many simply out of curiosity. But this particular mummy stands alone, not because of superstition or ancient curses, but for a far more scientific and fascinating reason. The wrapping technique used on this mummy is so delicate, so intricate, and so potentially unique that modern scientists fear they cannot unwrap it without causing irreversible damage to human heritage. Let me explain why this matters so profoundly. There's a golden rule in archaeology and antiquities preservation that every researcher lives by. If you're not absolutely certain you can preserve something in its current state or make it better, then you simply don't touch it. History has taught us painful lessons about rushing to open ancient treasures. Think about poorly restored ancient statues or infamous restoration attempts that became global embarrassments. These cautionary tales remind archaeologists that sometimes the best preservation is no intervention at all, and the Pacheri mummy represents this principle perfectly. But what makes the Pacheri mummy's wrapping so incredibly special? Pay close attention to this extraordinary detail. The delicate fabric covering the mummy's face features an astonishing design that resembles a pyramid. Researchers believe this might be the only mummy in existence with this particular embalming and wrapping style. Without understanding the exact ancient technique used to create this pattern, attempting to unwrap and rewrap the mummy could destroy a priceless piece of human heritage forever. The ancient Egyptian embalmer who wrapped this body possessed knowledge and skills that we still don't fully understand today, and that's what makes this discovery so humbling and fascinating. Now you might be wondering, how do we know anything about this mummy if it's never been unwrapped? Well, here's where modern science becomes our incredible time machine. Thanks to advanced technology like X-ray scanning and CT imaging, archaeologists can now peek inside ancient sarcophagi without disturbing a single thread of linen. These technological marvels have revealed fascinating secrets about the Pacheri mummy without ever compromising its pristine condition. This is the perfect marriage between respecting the past and satisfying our curiosity about ancient civilizations. What did these scans reveal? Let me share these incredible findings with you. The X-ray analysis showed that the mummy belonged to a man who stood approximately 5.5 feet tall. He lived during the Ptolemaic era, which means this mysterious individual walked the earth roughly 2,300 years ago. Imagine that for a moment. While ancient Greece was flourishing and Rome was rising to power, this man lived, breathed, loved, and eventually was laid to rest with such care and artistry that his burial continues to captivate us millennia later. But here's the mystery that baffled archaeologists even further and adds another layer of intrigue to this story. The Egyptian Museum reported that the X-ray scan uncovered an inscription of the man's name, but the hieroglyphics are difficult to decipher with certainty. Some experts read it as Pacheri, while others interpret it as Nen. This ambiguity creates an even deeper mystery. Who was this person? Important enough to receive such elaborate treatment, yet obscure enough that even his name remains uncertain after all these years of study. The decorative casing protecting the mummy tells us even more about ancient Egyptian beliefs and their sophisticated artistry. Museum experts noted that the ornate covering features multiple decorated scenes rich with religious symbolism and meaning. You can see the mummy lying peacefully on a bed, flanked by the goddesses Isis and Nephthys, who were believed to protect the dead on their journey to the afterlife. The 4 sons of Horus appear as well, representing the guardian deities who protected the internal organs during the mummification process. At the feet of the casing, 2 detailed images of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of mummification and the afterlife, stand eternal watch over the deceased. Every single element of this decoration served a sacred purpose, guiding and protecting the soul on its journey to eternity. Now, Let's take a moment to appreciate what makes this discovery even more remarkable in the broader context of Egyptology. The Pacheri mummy isn't the only one that archaeologists have chosen to leave untouched out of respect and scientific caution. Another famous example is the mummy of Tutankhamun. When French archaeologist Gaston Maspero discovered her remarkably well-preserved mummy, he made the conscious decision to leave her in peace. She had been the wife of a high priest and, despite her tomb being raided in ancient times, her mummy remained in extraordinary condition. X-ray technology later revealed amulets wrapped around her neck, right arm, and forehead, along with evidence of dental problems and arthritis in her knees. These non-invasive investigations allowed scientists to learn about her life and health without disturbing her eternal rest. The contrast between untouched mummies like Pacheri and Tutankhamun and unwrapped ones like King Tutankhamun really highlights an important evolution in archaeological practice. When Howard Carter and his team opened King Tut's nested coffins in 1925, they faced enormous challenges that would change archaeology forever. The young pharaoh's mummy had been doused with approximately 2 buckets worth of consecration oils. Over 3,000 years, these oils had chemically reacted with the linen wrappings, basically gluing the mummy to the bottom of its solid gold coffin in an unbreakable bond. The team tried everything they could think of. They placed the coffins in the scorching Egyptian sun, reaching temperatures of 149 degrees Fahrenheit, hoping the intense heat would loosen the hardened resins. It didn't work. What happened next would be absolutely unthinkable by today's standards and serves as a powerful lesson. To continue their examination, the researchers had to chisel the mummy out of its coffin. They cut the torso in half at the hips, disarticulated the arms, and used hot knives to separate the head from the famous golden mask. While they did their best to preserve and reassemble the mummy using paraffin wax and resin, the damage was sadly irreversible. This cautionary tale from one of archaeology's most celebrated discoveries demonstrates exactly why modern researchers refuse to touch the Pacheri mummy today. So what do we do with mysteries like the Pacheri mummy in our modern age? The answer lies in patience and advancing technology, and this is where things get truly exciting. Every year, new non-invasive techniques become available to researchers worldwide. 3-dimensional imaging, artificial intelligence analysis, and other cutting-edge tools may one day allow us to virtually unwrap the mummy, examine every single layer of fabric, and even read any hidden texts without physically disturbing a single thread. Future archaeologists might discover the complete identity of this mysterious man, understand the unique wrapping technique in all its complexity, and preserve this knowledge for generations to come, all without ever touching the actual mummy. The story of the Pacheri mummy teaches us something quite profound about archaeology and our relationship with the past. Sometimes the greatest act of discovery is knowing when not to disturb what we've found. This unnamed man from over 2 millennia ago continues to guard his secrets, not because of ancient curses or superstitions, but because we've finally learned to respect the fragility of history itself. His untouched wrappings stand as a testament to both ancient Egyptian artistry and modern archaeological wisdom. Fellow time travelers and ancient seekers, what do you think about this approach? Should archaeologists leave mysterious artifacts untouched until technology advances further, or should we risk potential damage to satisfy our immediate curiosity? What other ancient mysteries would you like us to explore in future episodes? Share your thoughts, theories, and questions in the comments below, because your insights might unlock the next great discovery. Join us next time as we continue our quest to uncover the treasures that time forgot and the secrets that change the world forever. Until then,